Something unbelievable is happening behind the scenes, something so big that it could rewrite the future of energy, transportation, and global innovation. A deal worth $1 billion is now circulating in private corridors, involving none other than Elon Musk and African inventor Maxwell Chikumbutso, a man long surrounded by mystery, controversy, and extraordinary engineering claims. So the real question is simple. What did Maxwell create that convinced the world's most ambitious innovator to put $1 billion on the table? Today, we break down the technology, the negotiations, and the global disruption this deal could unleash. Maxwell Chikumbutso's story has always lived between genius and disbelief. For years, he has introduced inventions that challenge the traditional rules of physics: electric cars, powered without traditional charging, generators that operate without fossil fuels, and devices capable of producing energy in ways mainstream science never fully accepted. Many dismissed him. Others believed he was decades ahead of his time. But the truth is this: despite the skepticism, Maxwell built a following among engineers, investors, and independent researchers who insisted that his prototypes were real and functional. His presentations, often humble and technical, stood in sharp contrast to the magnitude of what he claimed. Those who visited his workshops described strange machines humming silently, lighting bulbs, powering motors, or running without the typical inputs everyone expected. This background matters because it sets the stage for something crucial. Maxwell wasn't an overnight discovery for Elon Musk. According to sources close to tech observers, Musk's team had been quietly monitoring Maxwell's developments for months. Tesla engineers reportedly analyzed footage, studied patents, and traced the performance data he presented publicly. Each time, the same question rose within the team: if even half of this is real, we're looking at the biggest technological leap of the century. And that curiosity became the ignition point for everything that followed. At the center of this billion-dollar discussion is a device known as the RF energy converter, sometimes referred to as a self-charging generator, simplified. Maxwell claims the technology can convert frequencies in the environment into usable electrical power, essentially producing continuous energy without the traditional fuel or charging cycles. For Musk, whose companies depend on battery efficiency, energy density, and sustainable power, such an invention would be nothing short of world-shattering. Sources speculate that Tesla's interest peaked after a private demonstration Maxwell conducted for several unnamed international observers. During the test, a small engine allegedly ran continuously without external charging, producing clean power output far exceeding its input. Engineers who attended described it not as magic but as a breakthrough in frequency harvesting and energy resonance fields that mainstream science acknowledges, but never at this scale. What truly grabbed Musk's attention was scalability. If the RF engine could power small machines, could it be scaled to drive vehicles? Could it replace lithium-ion batteries? Could it keep a Tesla car running for months without charging? Could a long-duration spacecraft use this technology to operate equipment without relying heavily on solar panels? These theoretical possibilities forced Musk to investigate further. Private communications allegedly followed, with Tesla and SpaceX sending analysts to evaluate Maxwell's prototypes. While none of these interactions were ever publicly disclosed, insiders claim the conversations intensified when quantitative results suggested the technology could drastically reduce the cost of manufacturing batteries and potentially disrupt the global energy landscape. In Musk's world, innovation isn't measured by what seems safe or conventional. It's measured by what seems impossible until someone proves otherwise. Maxwell's invention, according to whispers inside Silicon Valley, may have done exactly that. Negotiations did not begin with a dramatic phone call or a sudden meeting. Instead, they began quietly through intermediaries, analysts, and legal liaisons. Musk's team initially approached Maxwell under the guise of technology evaluation, a standard first step used by major tech companies to explore emerging innovations without creating public attention. Reports suggest the first direct communication from Musk himself came after receiving a technical summary of Maxwell's generator performance. Those documents, if authentic, detailed a system capable of producing sustained electrical flow without traditional consumption or battery depletion. That was the moment the conversation shifted from curiosity to opportunity. The early negotiation phase was cautious. Maxwell, aware of how controversial his inventions had always been, reportedly insisted on strict non-disclosure protections. Musk's team, equally aware of the potential magnitude, agreed immediately. After several rounds of prototype testing and energy output verification, the discussion pivoted toward acquisition. The critical turning point came when Musk's engineering advisors confirmed one key conclusion. If optimized, this technology could integrate into Tesla's long-term energy strategy. What followed was a valuation assessment. Because there is no precedent for technology like this, normal valuation models didn't apply. Instead, Musk's team projected future market dominance, energy storage, automotive propulsion, aerospace systems, and long-duration power solutions. By these calculations, Maxwell's invention could be worth far more than the initial billion being discussed. This set the stage for the offer that would shock the world. The billion-dollar figure didn't come from a single evaluation. It emerged from cumulative assessments, engineering reviews, and long-term projections. According to insiders, Musk's team offered Maxwell a structured deal, partial upfront payment, equity in future Tesla energy divisions, and a joint development pathway that would allow Maxwell to oversee the refinement of his own technology. For Musk, this wasn't just a financial transaction. It was a strategic acquisition securing what could become the most transformative energy technology since Nikola Tesla's original wireless power theories. What made the offer shocking was not just the number, but the implications. If Musk truly believes Maxwell's generator works at scale, then the entire global energy model could shift overnight. Oil companies, battery manufacturers, utility providers, and even governments would be forced to adapt. The $1 billion offer might actually represent a bargain. However, a deal of this magnitude also demands evidence, reliability, and scalability. That is why the reported agreement includes a collaborative testing phase, during which Tesla engineers will refine the technology under laboratory conditions. If the results remain consistent, the acquisition could expand far beyond the initial number. For Maxwell, the deal represents vindication, a recognition that his ideas, long doubted or dismissed, are finally receiving serious global attention. For Musk, it is a leap into the future, the kind of bold move that aligns with his long pattern of embracing impossible challenges. If confirmed, this partnership could reshape industries, redefine energy consumption, and place Africa at the center of a technological revolution. If the reports are accurate, the consequences will ripple across the world in ways few can fully predict. First, the automotive industry would experience immediate disruption. Cars that run for months or even indefinitely without charging would fundamentally redefine transportation. Electric vehicle adoption would explode, fuel stations would decline, and range anxiety would disappear forever. Second, the energy sector would face an existential shift. If Maxwell's generator produces sustained power with minimal input, the global dependence on fossil fuels and traditional grid-based electricity could collapse. Nations that rely heavily on oil exports would confront unprecedented challenges, while developing countries could leapfrog into a new era of affordable, decentralized power. Third, the aerospace industry stands to benefit dramatically. SpaceX could integrate this technology into satellites, spacecraft, or Mars vehicles, extending mission duration and reducing energy limitations. Long-range exploration would become more practical and far less expensive. But the biggest impact may occur in Africa itself. For decades, Africa's technological achievements have been overshadowed by political narratives or media stereotypes. Maxwell's recognition by Musk could shift global attention toward African innovation, opening new investment channels, research opportunities, and scientific collaboration across the continent. Critics will demand proof and skeptics will question the science, but if the technology withstands scrutiny, the world will not simply adjust, it will transform. The partnership would not just be a business deal. It would signal the birth of a new era, one where ideas truly have no geographic boundaries, and where the next breakthrough might come from places the world never expected. Whether this billion-dollar deal becomes official or remains behind closed doors, one truth is undeniable. Something extraordinary is happening. For the first time, an African inventor's breakthrough has captured the attention of the world's most disruptive innovator, and the implications stretch far beyond business. This story reminds us that innovation doesn't care about borders, backgrounds, or expectations. It only cares about possibility. And if Maxwell's technology proves real, the world may soon witness a shift so profound that we'll remember this moment as the beginning of a new technological frontier.